Now, the one thing that I have realized about weddings is that it's never really about the bride or the groom, but rather a public platform for your invited guests as well as family members. Thus, you'll always want to have a perfect wedding. Now, today I am discussing weddings, and I have in studio with me Debra-Jane from Mahogany. She is a fabulous wedding planner and has also planned fabulous weddings. Hello, Debra-Jane. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
You look fabulous. I love what you're wearing.
Yeah, it's from Rini Q, actually.
Ah, all right. You look pretty. You look pretty. Thank you so much for making the time to being on the show today.
Thank you.
I appreciate it a lot. All right. Now, getting straight to the point, do you want to tell us a little bit about Mahogany?
Yes, Mahogany is an events planning, management, photography, and production agency here in Ghana. We've been running for 4 years. 4 years in March, actually. And under our portfolio, we've probably done about 250 weddings in the last 4 years. Weddings, stroke engagements. Yes.
Now, all of this sounds pretty interesting, and I do know that we are currently, going through the season of love, and I'm sure a lot of people are planning to get married. What are the different types of weddings, actually?
In Ghana, I am confident of 4. The civil marriage, the traditional marriage, the religious. We have Islamic and Christian wedding.
Do you want to elaborate more on that?
Okay, I do more of the traditional marriage, which is the engagement ceremony, and the process is a knock-in where the man's family comes to the woman's family to announce that he's interested in marrying their daughter. Then we have the traditional marriage that follows, which is the engagement. So, and every tribe has their way of having the engagement. So we have the traditional engagement, then we have the religious one, which is the Christian weddings. I have done a couple of Muslim weddings as well.
Oh, nice. So what actually goes into planning a wedding? Do you want to take us through the steps?
Okay, so we have the concept. Every bride has a concept. Every bride, I'm sure a lot of girls, once they hit teenage years, they start thinking, oh, my wedding day, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
Or as soon as they have a boyfriend.
Yes. As soon as they have the first boyfriend, they start planning their wedding. Funny enough, a 7-year-old came into my photo studio once to take photos. And this girl was telling me about her wedding. So she has it all planned out.
7 years old.
7 years old girl. She knows her wedding colors, how many bridesmaids she's going to have.
Oh, wow.
The type of wedding, her cake and everything. So basically, she's got it planned. All she's waiting for is the groom.
The groom.
So I said to her, sweetie, when you get the groom, just give me a call and I'll come. And she said, okay, yes. So basically, the whole weddings are based on the concept. So we start with the concept. Every bride has their concept. So from concept, then they come to me, then we do the consultation, then we execute the concept.
So what is the first thing you have to look into before, or rather when planning a wedding? The first thing that you have to think about?
Budget, a realistic budget. How much can you actually afford to spend?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of brides refuse to reveal how much they want to spend. Why they do that, I don't know. Sometimes I feel they don't want to tell you how much they want to afford to spend because you might up your price if you think they can afford it. But why we ask, or why I ask, how much can you really afford it, so that I know what to do for you. But all the time they don't know. You tell me how much it's going to cost. And then we have all the battle of back and forth. But the most important thing is, how much are you able to spend on your wedding?
Now, speaking of budget, people have this perception that weddings are extremely expensive. What is your take on that?
They can be very expensive. That is why I am envisaging that I would have a small wedding, because I don't want to spend so much money on a wedding. People do spend a lot of money on weddings because, one, they have so many guests. That is, I always say, if you can't afford it and you want to have a nice wedding, why don't you reduce your number of guests? I mean, I always say, when you put your budget together, divide, so covering catering, your dress, your ring, makeup, venue, decor, photography, videography, wedding cake, everything. When you add it up, actually divide it by the number of guests you've invited to your wedding. Then you would see that you're actually spending a lump sum on every single person coming to your wedding. Then you think, these people that I'm inviting, are they actually worth the amount of money I am spending on the wedding? I love it when a bride comes to me and says, I'm having an intimate wedding, just my family and friends. So you know it's meaningful. But then some people I've done a wedding for 1,000 people before, and I'm sure the bride doesn't even know half of these people, and you can imagine that it will be expensive.
Absolutely.
So weddings are expensive when you have a lot of guests. That's the first thing. And then secondly, the venues as well. It depends on the venue. If you have it at a 5-star hotel, of course it's going to cost you money. But if you have something small at home or a less expensive venue, then I'm sure it's more affordable.
Now, going more in depth, your clients, when they come to you, do you really think that they were actually ready for marriage?
Now, you're asking me a question like I'm a counselor, not a wedding planner.
Well, are they ready? Are they? Would you say they are?
Some of them are not.
Some of them
are not ready. And you can tell even from the body language and even during consultation, especially when the bride and groom are there, from their answers to the questions, you know they're not ready.
Oh. And would you say color schemes are, well, important when it comes to planning a wedding?
Yes, because it acts as a guide for your wedding. Because if you don't have any color scheme in place and you're planning maybe your decor, your bridesmaids' gowns and all that, you need a color theme. I mean, most of the time it changes a few times before the actual wedding day, but at least when you have a color theme in place, then you are guided for the wedding.
And do these colors have meanings, or you just like, okay, let's do pink here and blue here?
People usually they pick colors because those are colors they actually like. I'm sure everybody has a favorite color. I love royal blue, but that doesn't mean that on my wedding day I'll use royal blue. I think it's too loud. I like pastel colors for weddings, but then people want a combination of royal blue and orange. Some people want royal blue and bright yellow. You know, some people want red and green. It's their choices, not mine.
Okay.
I can only advise you, but everyone their choices.
So what would you say actually goes wrong, you know, when somebody is planning their wedding? What actually contributes to the wedding, something going wrong at the wedding?
For instance, sometimes they have too many planners. Everybody suddenly has an opinion. That causes a lot of problems. The mother-in-law has an opinion, the mother has an opinion, the auntie has an opinion, the godmother has an opinion, the best friend, everybody has an opinion. That causes a lot of problems. Another thing is they invite too many people and don't cater for enough. That causes problem. Somebody wants to have a garden wedding in the middle of the rainy season. That's going to cause a problem. So there are a lot of factors that makes weddings go wrong.
All right, now you've been doing this for 4 years, What would you say would be your most memorable moment as a wedding planner?
You know, as a wedding planner, personally, my most memorable moments are the friendships I build with a couple or the bride along the way. Those are the moments that I treasure the most.
Now, obviously, you have done quite a lot of weddings. You have planned quite a lot of weddings, and what would you say? Would you say the feedback from your clients has been good throughout?
Well, I would not say it's been 100%. It would be dishonest of me to say that all my reviews have been 10 over 10. But it's not my fault when it's not 10. When you're having a garden wedding on a rainy day, how is that my fault? But yeah, I always carry out a client satisfaction survey at the end of every event. And thanks be to God, I always get good remarks.
High five to that. Now, what would your piece of advice be to people out there that would like to plan their wedding? What are the key factors that you would just like to highlight on?
First of all, what do you really want for your wedding? Secondly, be realistic. Don't go on the internet and print out all these photographs, or go on Instagram and screenshot all these photographs, and then you bring me a budget of 1,000 cedis and expect me to work miracles for you. Be realistic, but then, you know, as much as it's a wedding, some people seem to forget that it's an event. A wedding is just an event. The main deal is the marriage, but then sometimes they forget the meaning of the event that they're having. So I always say, remember, it's just an event. You don't need to spend your whole life savings on your wedding. Yes, a lot of people say, oh, yeah, it's just once in a lifetime, but then there's sunrise after every sunset. So.
Exactly. So if I were to decide tomorrow, you know what, I'm getting married, how do I get hold of Think Mahogany? Because I want you to plan my wedding.
Oh,
definitely.
Yeah? Are we coming to Namibia?
I don't know. It depends on where the other party
where the love is
from. Yeah.
Yes, I'm reachable via Facebook.
Uh-huh.
I'm reachable by Twitter. I'm reachable by Instagram, personal email, and my telephone number.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Debra-Jane, for making the time to being on the show today. Your word of advice sort of did help me, and I hope it helped the viewers out there as well. I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And you should be expecting my call within the next couple of years, because you are definitely going to plan my wedding.
I pray sooner.
Well, that was Debra-Jane from Think Mahogany. She is a wedding planner, and she was just visiting us in studio so that she could tell us a little bit about wedding planning. Now, when we do get back after the break, I will be going for Star Closet. Stay tuned.